Live from Paranormal Central, SPS Radio with your host, Jeffrey Gonzalez, is on the air. Tune in for lively conversations regarding UFOs, Bigfoot, hauntings, and conspiracy theories, among others. If you would like to speak to Jeffrey on tonight's show, the call-in number is 559-287-8367. That's 559-287-UFOS.
Hello everyone, my name is Jeffrey Gonzalez and you are watching SPS Radio, better known as Paranormal Central, coming to you live from Central California. The city, Fresno, where everything is happening, and I mean everything. Tonight, man, UFOs, buddies, I mean UFOs. Got some people calling in. This time we have them. Happened Friday night, and it just so happened that it happened when the Swedish production company were in town, but we missed it by that much. Oh, I can't believe that we missed it. And I'll tell you exactly what happened and where we were. It's like they actually came out because of us and wanted us to see them. Unfortunately, we were not at the right place at the right time.
We were right place.
Right place, but
wrong time.
Wrong time. There you go. That's a bummer, though. Ellen Thomas, are you there?
I'm there. How are you, everyone?
Okay, so here we go. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here tonight. For all those who are new and are saying, what the heck is this? Where I didn't know this show even existed. Well, there you go. Now you know. We've been going at this actually for a couple of years, but in the live stream area here for about a year now, strong, year and a half maybe. And we are doing extremely well. A lot of people are listening. We are at over 500,000 viewer minutes now, going on strong, and very important people are watching us, which is pretty damn exciting, to be honest. So let me tell you what has been happening this past week. Actually, a lot. And starting off with on Friday, if you have not been watching us on Facebook, and if you are watching the show and are not a friend on Facebook, I suggest you go do that today. My name is Jeffrey Gonzalez, and we have another like page of the Sanger Paranormal Society. So make sure you like both of them, and or not like, be a friend on mine, and like on the Sanger Paranormal Society page. If this is your first time, you can actually watch this show on your cell phone for free. The company's name is Livestream, what you're watching now, and you just go to iTunes, or the app, App Store, and type in Livestream, and it's a free app. You download it for your Android or iPhone, and you can watch past archive shows, and wherever you're at, you can go ahead and just load up the app, search SPS Radio. We will come on at 7 o'clock, and you can watch us on your cell phone wherever you're at for free. That's awesome. So for those people who think that, I'm going to be at dinner with my wife, you can be like this, looking at the hi, you know what I'm saying? So, it could be a good thing or it could be a bad thing. So at least you'll never miss a show ever. So, all right. Let's get to this. We have actually one recorded interview I'm going to be playing for you tonight, and we're going to be talking with two live people on the phone. On Friday, we had, for those who don't know, a Swedish production company came down to Fresno, California, and they are doing a United States tour of 3 states in the United States. of 3 cities, I believe. And it so happens that Fresno was one of them. Why is that? Because they heard about all the paranormal activity happening in Fresno, California. How did the Swedish know? Well, the Fox News did a national, actually a world story on Sanger Paranormal Society, and it went worldwide. And also, as you know, we were on Chasing UFOs, and they also saw us there, so that's why they gave me a call one day, and they said, hey, we need to come down and do a story on UFOs. And I said, sure, come on down. And so they did, and Friday was the day. Now, they were here for about 3 hours, 4 hours in the studio recording some video. Fox News actually came down and did an interview with the host of the Swedish company. Then we proceeded to Robert Thorson's house and did some videotaping there. Then after that, we went up to the location of all locations, which is north of Fresno, and that's the levee at Shepherd and DeWolf. And we did a little bit, actually we went to the top of the levee, and at that point in time, they wanted just to record the sunset just for some B-roll on for their episode. Then that was about 5:30 is when we left the levee, and we proceeded to the Owens Mountain area where our buddy Robert Scott got us on to the mountain to a certain location. Now, what upsets me is that when we left the levee and we proceeded around the mountain and went up to our location and we got out of our vehicles and started to set up, Alan and I noticed some helicopters heading east
yeah,
towards the foothills. But see, we were only like in a line of sight of the like half of Clovis and half of Fresno, but we couldn't see anymore because the mountain was in our way. Well, when I came home that night, Alan had left. I was sitting on the couch and my 24-hour hotline rang, and what happened is I was speaking. A lady called and she says, hi. She goes, and I proceeded by saying, hi, this is Jeffrey and Sanger Paranormal Society. Can I help you? And she says, are you guys for real? And I'm all, yeah. And she proceeded to tell me what had happened to her and her family at about 6:30 that evening, which was about the same time we had just arrived on the other side of Owens Mountain. So what I'm going to do is I told her I was going to call her at 7:15, which is 7:07. So right now, what I'm going to do is we're going to do this in line first. The first, I'm going to play now. You guys, if you guys were watching us last week, I was supposed to have a security guard from the Table Mountain Casino, and he mistakenly misplaced his phone, and the show had finished, and then he found his phone. And he was bummed because, he had already gave me permission. He wanted to come on and basically, tell everybody what had happened. So about an hour and a half ago, because he had to go to work tonight, I actually called him and I recorded the interview. And I'm going to play the interview to you guys right now. And this is Nolan, who witnessed some things on his way up on Albury Road towards Table Mountain. This happened on New Year's Eve, just recent, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and play that for you guys. And it's not very long. It's only like 6 or 7 minutes. And then once we finish that, we're going to call, I believe, she goes by Ronnie. And we're going to talk to her. And then after that, that same night, last Friday, 2 nights ago, about 10 o'clock, we had another UFO sighting off of the 168 just southeast of Fresno. Northeast of Fresno, I'm sorry. And I think it was the same lights, and they were still in the same area. And this was spotted by the husband of a police officer. And we're going to get him on the phone tonight, too, as well. So right now, I'm going to let you guys hear the interview with Nolan that I did an hour and a half ago. He is the security guard at Table Mountain Casino. And we got Nolan on the phone. How's it going, Nolan?
Doing well. How about you?
Good. I guess you're feeling sick. You got the flu, or?
Yeah, it started off as a cold, turned into a flu, and now it's just a cold symptom.
Right on.
Driving me nuts.
Okay. Well, if everybody was listening or watching us last week, we were trying to get Nolan on the phone, and he accidentally, mistakenly lost his phone, and we did not were able to get him on the phone last week. But now we got him, and we're doing a interview before the show because he is a security guard at Table Mountain Casino, so he's gonna actually be working while we're on the air tonight. So we got him right now, and we're gonna go ahead and start the interview. I came in contact with you. Somebody notified me that they saw your post on Facebook, and it was a guy at work, and his daughter's a friend of yours on Facebook, and she saw it, and he notified me, and that's how I text you or messaged you on Facebook. Now, I guess what happened is you were going, and this was New Year's Eve, right?
Yes, I remember specifically because there were lots of spotlights in the air from the casino.
Gotcha. And okay, so there was a lot of spotlights.
Right, there were the beams that they shine up in the air and everything. There were probably about 10 of them up in the air.
Wow. Okay, well, I'm glad you mentioned that because when I started asking you questions, a lot of people thought that, maybe that's what you saw instead of those UFOs.
Oh, definitely not. No,
okay, all right. Not. All right, well, go ahead and talk about it. I guess you're en route up to the Table Mountain Casino. About what time was this?
Oh, this was probably about 9:30 because I started my shift about 10, and I remember I was running a little bit late. It was about 9:30 p.m. I first noticed them over on Beheimer, between Fowler and Minnewawa. And when I turned on when I eventually got to Auberry, I realized that they were actually just above Auberry, by about 50 yards to the left. And I'm not sure if anyone knows that area very well, but it's probably about a mile down Auberry once you first turn off of Copper.
Okay.
And it's right about the first curve of Auberry.
That's where all those oak trees, or all those trees, those not oleander, but all those large trees in that area, right?
Right.
Got it.
Right when the residential, the houses begin.
Right, exactly.
So just about right before that, straight up in the air, about 50 yards to the left. That'd be to the west.
Got it.
But at first I noticed there were 4 lights, and they were orange, and they weren't flickering. They were more pulsing. They were a very slow but steady pulse. And as soon as I saw the 4, I saw one go up in the air. Not like what people always say, it shot up in the air. But it was fairly quickly. And there were 3 left. And I should probably mention, when it was at the 4, they were kind of in this staggered formation. There were 2 to the left and 2 staggered down to the right. Well, one of the ones to the right shot up in the air, and there were the 3, and the one that was remaining on the right side swung around to the left, and it formed this perfect triangle formation. So now you have 3 orange pulsing lights forming this perfect triangle.
Wow.
And that instantly eliminated one of my thoughts, and that was, maybe there were, I think they're called like Chinese lanterns or something.
Right, exactly.
Candles that people lit up in the air.
Right.
So, I mean, I was trying to find a rational explanation. These definitely weren't, airplanes or anything, because I had never seen this orange pulsing light. But they were just underneath the clouds. And as I started getting closer, I tried to get a picture. I stopped right in the middle of Auberry. There was no traffic behind me or in front of me or anything. So I stopped, pulled out my phone, and was trying to get a picture of it. But I guess my phone just couldn't pick it up because it was such a dark background.
Right.
I was really bummed about that. Yes, now you have these 3 lights, and I'm right underneath them. I feel like I'm literally looking up at them.
Wow. Now, when I mentioned this on Facebook, and you already talked about this right at the very beginning of the when we were interviewing, that the casino has spotlights that they turn on at nighttime, and there was quite a bit of spotlights going. So for a fact, these were not spotlights, right?
Definitely not. The spotlights, you could see a very clear white beam. They were, you could see the streak through the sky. These were orange, dots in the sky.
Okay.
Lights. They were just, hovering there, basically.
Okay, got it. So now you pull over, or you pretty much stop. You try to take photographs. You couldn't take any photographs. So you basically I'm thinking you got back in your car so that way you don't get hit again. I mean, you don't get hit.
Correct.
Yeah. Correct. So you got back in your vehicle and you started driving again, and were you still observing these orbs?
Absolutely. Now I'm hitting the first curve, so I'm trying to pay more attention to the road. But I keep glancing up, and when I'm glancing up, I'm starting to see one very slowly lifts up into the sky, and it disappears in the clouds. And another one, the second one, it goes quickly like the first one did. And then this very last dot, the last of the four, it's sitting there, and it's not moving. It's taken a while. But once I'm starting to kind of lose my track of it, because now you're starting to get on those curves and the hills and stuff. And now I'm having to look backwards to it, too.
Right.
And when I finally do, I see it very, very slowly just kind of lifted up in the clouds, and I lost it. I was amazed and excited, but bummed at the same time that I didn't get to see it anymore.
Right. Okay, so you lost sight of him, and did you now? I'm assuming you turn and you're pretty much arriving at the Table Mountain Casino.
Correct.
What you parked your car, and what happened after that?
You know, I had one of my supervisors. He's a FTO, corporal, just one rank above me. I happened to see him when he got out of his car. I asked him, I said, hey, did you see anything funny on your way up here? I didn't, give him any clues or anything.
Right.
And he says, yeah, as a matter of fact, I saw some lights in the sky. I thought maybe they were the Chinese lanterns, but I'm not so sure. And I told him exactly what I just told you. I said the formations that they formed and everything. And he goes, wow, that's crazy. But unfortunately, he didn't seem to show too much interest, but I would have loved to have seen if he wanted to take pictures or something like that, but
right.
Apparently, since he wasn't too interested, he didn't. But
okay, so your supervisor did see them. Was there anybody else who saw these?
yes, I was driving the shuttle all night for the employees up there at the casino.
Okay.
And I mentioned it to a few different people, and every once in a while someone would say, yeah, my friend was posting about it on Facebook. Now, I don't know who these people are or anything, but I know one of the dealers, a female dealer, she told me that on her way up to work, she had been listening to the radio, and I'm not sure what station it was. She said 98.7, but I went there and I couldn't get a signal, so I'm thinking maybe she meant 98.9 soft rock or something, but I guess some radio station were talking about these lights over in the north, and she said it was basically exactly what I had just said.
Wow. Very cool. So, so basically, some of the employees did see what you saw. Did you notice? Was there any talk inside the casino, like of the patrons, of the gamblers? Did anybody see those?
Not that I'm aware of. I know the same dealer said that her guests that were gambling at her table had said something about it, but I wasn't really inside the casino, so I didn't have any first-hand conversations with guests since I was driving the shuttle all night.
Okay.
But yeah, apparently there were a couple of guests that had mentioned something about at her table.
Okay, right on. Cool. Was this the first time you've ever seen anything like this?
Definitely the best time. When I was younger, I used to see things like that once in a while, but nothing to this extent.
Wow.
This was definitely the coolest experience.
Very cool. Very cool. Well,
solid.
All right. So very cool. Okay. Well, is there anything you like to add that you haven't said yet?
No, I believe that covers it.
That pretty much covers it.
I'm pumped still. My eyes open up in the sky every day on the way to work now.
Well, that's very cool. Just to let you know, on Friday, which was a couple days ago, we had 2 reports again come in. This time it was east of Sanger, and we had a mother and her kids actually chase them from Kingsburg all the way down Academy, down Newmark, down to the country, and about 2 hours later, we had the husband of a police officer spotted off of the 168 in the same direction. So for some reason,
wow.
they're happening a lot more frequent and near the foothills. So where you're at, man, they're happening all the time, especially down Friant Road, right in down the area.
Yeah.
Oh man,
it's definitely a great spot.
Dude, it's like there's something going on down there, and that's what I'm trying to figure out is what. And we appreciate people like you who aren't afraid to say, whoa, I just saw something weird and I need to tell somebody, and I'm glad you did. So
absolutely.
Well, very cool. Well, you know what? You got my number, and if you happen to ever see this again, I don't care what time it is. If you're like doing your on patrol up there, and at 2 o'clock in the morning you see some light, you call me on this number no matter what time it is, right?
Absolutely. I will do that for you, Jeffrey.
All right, Nolan. Okay, well, Nolan, I appreciate you giving us your interpretation of what happened that night, and we'll talk very soon, okay?
Definitely.
All right, thanks, Nolan. Okay, take care.
All right.
Bye.
Bye, Nolan.
So that was Nolan. He is the security guard at Table Mountain Casino that witnessed that incident a couple of weeks ago, New Year's Eve, as a matter of fact. So now what we're going to do is we're going to call, I believe her name is Ronnie, and she is the mother who spotted these things in Kingsburg, or on the way home from Kingsburg. And I'm just going to let her pretty much tell the story. So let's get her on the line. I'm going to call her number right now.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system.
Oh no, not rerun.
Not this again.
02633 is not available.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, let's try it again. Hold on. She sounds like she's on the phone.
Yep, she's calling everybody and telling them, hey, they're going to interview me.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system. 559210.
Oh. Oops. Okay. I know that's the number because she called me on that number. Okay, hold on.
Did you ever notice that everybody, I don't care what kind of phone system you have or what phone company you're with, it's the same lady all the time. I wonder how much money that lady made off of that.
I'm pretty sure it was Friday.
Did they hire her because of her voice or what?
No, it was this one call.
Somebody says that her phone is off.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic...
Yeah, it is. Her call is off. Her phone is off. Somebody needs to call her. For those people who are listening, you need to call Ronnie and say, hey, dude, or hey, girl, they are calling you. Let's try it again.
Your call has been forwarded to a...
What's the matter? Good observation, Ellen. She lost her phone and now has the flu. Ronnie, if you are listening to me right now for some reason, I don't know if I'm calling the right number. I think I am. Call me on that hotline number you called me on Friday night, please. Call me right now. If you're on another number or if I'm dialing it wrong. I'm pretty sure it was 9:39 when you called me. And it was like 19 minutes we talked, and I'm pretty sure this is the right number. So can you please call me, Ronnie, if you're listening, or if anybody is watching this show who Ronnie told you to watch because she was going to be interviewed and they're not answering her phone, tell her to call me at the number she called me at, and that's 559-287-8367. 559-287-8367. Okay, we're going to wait a couple of minutes for her to hopefully turn on her phone and then call me. And if not, then what we're going to do is we're going to bypass her really quick, and then we're going to call the other person at about 3 hours later who witnessed more lights off the 168, and I'm not sure exactly where. Now, he said 168. I would be very upset if he said, oh yeah, right at Shepherd and 168, because that's where it all happens. Now, it's kind of weird that when we arrived at the levee with the production company from Sweden, you know, it's my job as an observer, and it should be all of your, you know, jobs as well, as you need to observe anything and everything, especially if you're sky watching and around the levee, because when we were there, you know, that place down there, usually what people do, they usually go out there and party, and you know, usually the young ones will go out there and kick it, maybe, you know, smoke a little and drink some alcohol. But while we were there, I noticed a blue van, and it had an older gentleman. I mean, this guy must have been in his late 70s, or just 70s, or late 60s, right around there, and drive in there, make a U-turn, and park halfway down on D Wolf down inside the levee. And then all of a sudden, this brown small SUV with two older people. And it's kind of funny because, you know, when you have a camera on a tripod and people walking around like, you know, there's a major, you know, filming thing going on, which it wasn't, but you can tell something was going on. people they're looky-loos. They want to know what's going on. Well, it was funny that these elderly people were not looking at us when they drove right by the first time, and they just kept looking straight, like trying not to focus their eyes on my eye, because I was, watching them as they passed by. And they went all the way down, made a U-turn, and came all the way back. And as soon as they passed us going like away from us, going back down towards Shepherd Avenue, again, they did not look at us. But I noticed the wife or whoever was in the passenger, the older lady, she goes like this, and just kept on going. And that's what she did. She pretended to yawn right in front of me. And I'm going, why are you, and they are very clean cut, seemed like they had some money, because the vehicle they were driving, the way they had their clothes. What is the purpose on a Friday night at, 6:30 or 5:30 sunset, to drive over into the levee, all the way down, make a U-turn, come back up? Why would they do that?
Maybe they were going to do the lover's lane thing, and their space was taken.
No, I don't think that was the...
I know they weren't smoking pot.
No, they to me, they look like teachers, science teachers.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's what, a scientist, you guys follow me? Very intelligent people these people were in this car. I can tell. I know how to read people. I know when I look at somebody, I can tell this is how they look to me. And it was just very weird that as soon as we got there, boom, all of a sudden all these cars started showing up. And it's like, okay, really? We thought from the very beginning that we were going to get followed and people were going to follow us and the whole 9 yards. And it would be very dumb of them to show up in white vans, because we would be expecting that. So obviously they had to send somebody else just to cruise in there and see what we were doing. Okay, I'm gonna call Ronnie one more time. I can't believe that we're doing this. We're going through this again.
There was actually quite a few cars out there when we pulled up to the levee and parked up there, and there was a white truck way down at the bottom at the end of the road, and one parked under the trees, and then those other people started pulling in, the old people, and it was like most everybody that goes there, they're either drinking, smoking weed, or they're going to shoot their guns, but they didn't look like that.
No, not at all. Not even close.
There wasn't any white vans. The white pickup, after a little while, I guess we made him nervous because we were all out there with our binoculars and stuff.
And they were young kids, too, and that's the very end of the road.
Yeah, and they came out, they decided that we had the white van. Big old giant 15-passenger white van. They probably thought we were the guys, the man, here they come. Everybody jumps out with their binoculars, looking like they're the FBI. It was pretty fun.
Okay, I'm trying to message Ronnie through Facebook that I'm calling your number and you are not responding, or I'm calling the wrong number, which I have been known to do many times. Okay, there you are. And Ronnie, if you're listening, I'm trying to call you and your phone's off, or I'm dialing the wrong number. Can you please call me at that number you called before at 287-8367? See, look at, Jeffrey, I apologize. I can't do the interview today. Give me a call tomorrow afternoon so we can talk about it. If you recorded this call, feel free to use it. She just sent me a message 2 minutes ago. Jeffrey, I apologize. I can't do the interview today. Give me a call tomorrow afternoon so we can talk about it. If you recorded the call, feel free to use it. Recorded what call? The call that we had on Friday. No, see, I didn't record it. Okay, well, let's call the other gentleman. His name is Angel, and I don't want to give his last name because he might not want me to do it. So let's go ahead and call Angel up here.
Yeah, I was tripping. We pulled into the area where we were going to shoot. It was the last place, and with the Swedes, and we saw those helicopters.
Yeah, we did.
Going towards the way, and Jeffrey even said, "Hey, what are those helicopters?"
Hey,
doing?
is this Angel?
You know?
Yeah, it's Angel.
Hey, Angel. Hi, this is Jeffrey, and saying at the on SPS Radio. How you doing?
Pretty good, and you?
God, not too bad, not too bad. So, okay, we're on the air, and I guess the reason, obviously, you know why I'm calling you is because you had a sighting on Friday night. Is that right?
Yeah, as I was coming out of the Sound Arena for the hockey game
Okay.
on Friday, and I was driving, got on the 168, started heading on the 168 towards Clovis, and right there where the Bullard exit is,
Right.
I was looking up and I could see about 7 lights total, but it was like from the left to the right, starting from the left to the right, there was a blue light, and the other 6 lights were white. But it was like it was like the lining of a mountaintop goes up and down, and they were spaced. They were all spaced out, and I just seen them. They're all just sitting there like flashing, and I was like, wow, telling the kids, look. And I was just like, well, I need to tell Jeffrey.
So this is so you think these lights were actually over the mountains, or do you think they were like closer?
I don't know if they were on a mountain, but it's like picture a mountain, and then the mountain going up and down, and then like there was like lights on the tips of the ridges going up and down from left to right.
That, you know what that reminds me of? The Phoenix Lights.
Okay.
The Phoenix Lights.
Oh. Okay.
Very, very.
Yeah, but it wasn't that high in the air. It was like a little like in between. It wasn't too low, but it just looked odd.
Wow.
Where it was.
Very cool. Now, so what exit did you get off of from the 160?
I got out off of the Herndon exit.
Okay.
But when I was driving, I just looked up and I go, wow, what's that?
Wow.
And I seen the blue lights, and then the rest of them just followed, but they were all scattered up, down.
So they were all like, basically just. So
cool.
so they weren't hovering in one position. They were pretty much just going straight then, like flying.
Yeah, from straight across from left to right, and they're going like a zigzag, like going over the mountains, up and down.
Whoa, crap. That's very cool. Okay. Awesome. Well, I appreciate you telling us about this. Did you said there were about 7. It was like you and your kids in the car?
Yeah, we're in the car, and they just they took a look, and they're like, oh wow. But I was, I guess, the one that was more excited about it.
Sure. Right on. Well, very cool. Okay, now, did you notice any airplanes or helicopters flying out that area or chasing them or anything like that?
No, they're just there, blinking.
Okay, what time was this?
It's about 10 o'clock at night.
About 10 o'clock at night. God.
Yeah, they just got out of the hockey game.
Same day?
Ended about
Same time?
9:45, and then we just took time to drive, and that's when I seen it.
Yeah, I mean, we were already home.
Yep.
When all this happened. So, I was already sitting on my couch when these lights were already flying out there. Wow.
Oh, okay.
Very cool. Well, all right. I appreciate you telling us about this, Angel. Thank you very much. And if you happen to see anything like that, make sure you notify, Michael, or get a hold of me, okay?
Okay, no problem.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Angel. Have a good night. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, that happened Friday night. When it happened before and it happened after we left the mountain. Is that a coincidence? I don't know. Happened.
So that makes like 2 people on the Friday night
that we were out there,
and one was happening right when we were there.
Yep.
And then one happened only maybe an hour after we were in.
After we were in.
That is kind of weird.
So it's like, and usually Friday nights are pretty dead.
Right, yeah.
Friday nights, they don't usually show themselves, especially if they're top secret aircraft from our military, because that's when most of the people are outside getting ready to go. Like, for example, coming home from a hockey game, going out to dinner, going to a party, coming back from a party. if our military is going to fly these things over the public's, they need to do it when the public are the most unaware and they're inside and not outside. And that's usually, again, Sundays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. But this time it was a Friday. Very unusual. Wow. It happened all at this, on that day that we were out. It's just that, again, we were not focused. We were at the right place at the wrong time. There you go. Right place at the wrong time. Yeah, that's it. God, I hate when that happens.
Man, it was cold that night. Otherwise, I would have been outside for a little while.
Yeah, it was cold, and maybe that is another reason why they did come out. Is because it is cold and no one is going to be out there, and maybe that's why they came out. But who knows? I can't give you my honest opinion on this because I don't know. I'm just making assumptions, and I don't want to make an ass out of myself, which I've done many times in my life. So, okay, all right. Well, bummer that Ronnie could not talk to us tonight. I'm frustrated on that because it was very cool. Ronnie, let me just give you a brief description of what she saw. She took her daughters to ballerina class in Kingsburg, and it had finished, and she was coming back, and I think she lives in Sanger, and she was coming down Academy Avenue when they spotted the lights off near the foothills, going north. And they witnessed it. There was their daughters and her, and they're freaking out. They're going, look, look, look. And so they decided to follow them. So they're going down Academy. They still have their eyes on them, and she makes a right. I'm not sure on what street, Central or North, before they hit Sanger, and they went up to Newmark, made a left, and they're still following these lights. But now she says a helicopter has joined in the chase of these lights. And now a helicopter is following these lights. So she's still going down Newmark. She curves at the northeast corner of Sanger when Newmark curves, like going towards the cemetery. And that's when she stops and says, it's really dark out there. That's it. I'm not going any further. And she stops and turns around and comes back because she's now frightened. She's scared because, what she's observing, it's not common nature. It's something that you don't see every day, and it's freaking them out. Yet they're still pumped and excited, and the adrenaline is still going. But she has a couple of young kids, and she doesn't know what she's getting herself into. So she makes a U-turn and comes back home, and lets the helicopter follow these lights. And it just so happens that, that's where Angel intercepted the lights coming home. But now we're talking 3-hour difference. So did the lights come back? Did they, all of a sudden disappear and reappear? I don't know, but there was something, happening major on Friday night, which was kind of cool. So, all right, well, there you go. The more people that realize that we exist, because Ronnie, what was funny is Ronnie had no clue the Sanger Paranormal Society existed, yet she lives in Sanger.
Whoa.
What the freaking low airplane.
Yeah, can you guys hear that airplane?
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure they heard that. So,
whoa.
Yeah, and it's funny when Ronnie called my 24-hour hotline, because when she got home, she was freaking out, so she just went on the computer and typed in Sanger and UFOs, and all of a sudden, boom, Sanger Paranormal Society comes up in the 24-hour hotline, and she's going, what? So she calls the number, and I answer, and she goes, are you for real? And I had to persuade her that, yeah, this is real. I am, my name is Jeffrey from the Sanger Paranormal Society, and I had to tell her how long we've been in existence. But the reason why she doesn't know about us is, for one thing, they don't own a television. Their family does not watch TV. So, and again, still, it's usually when people find out about us is by word of mouth, Facebook, and so forth. TV, well, if she saw us, she could have seen us if she had TV on some news channels, but otherwise, she had no clue that we existed. And that goes the same thing with Nolan. they'd have no clue that we exist. And the only reason why I become in contact with them is either they call me just by luck, or they a friend of theirs tell them to call me, and that's how we become in contact. So the more that our numbers get out, the more people are going to keep calling us like this. And these lights are probably in the skies more than you guys know. The only problem is we are inside and we're not outside looking. Fortunately for these people, they're driving and they look out the window and they notice something and they go, whoa, that's not normal. Look at that. And that's how it all begins. If this was during the summer, people would be outside. The kids would be playing. They would be watering their lawn, mowing their lawn, walking the dogs, taking out the trash, having a smoke. Having a smoke is usually, I want to say, the higher percentage in which people actually visually see something in the sky is when they're outside having a cigarette break or taking a dog out for a poop break. That's when they actually see these lights, because they're outside looking up in the sky and all of a sudden they go, whoa. So wait until the summer. It's going to get way more exciting. Just right now, it's still exciting, even if it's cold. It's people are out, and they're now being more observant, which is very, very cool. So, all right, well, you know what? Let's talk about the Swedish production company that was here on Friday. They were a bunch of fun guys. Man, so we had a freaking blast. Swedish people, the Swedish television networks, for those who don't know, everything goes on their networks, meaning there's no holding back. There's nudity, there's naked people on their commercials and in movies and on TV, and you can say bad words.
Yep.
So, I'm going, whoa, because what's funny is when we were shooting outside in the front of my house and then we brought it inside, the host, his name is Adam, what's his last name? Alsing. And he's a really fun guy. And he started saying, have you guys ever been anal probed? And we're all like this, what? You can say that on TV? And he goes, what? Yeah, of course we can, So after we broke the ice, then, we started really, getting into it a little bit. Not me, but, they were, saying some naughty stuff and, all this kind of stuff. But, it's kind of funny that you can actually do that on Swedish TV. You actually could be watching a commercial and a girl could be in the shower all naked and there you go.
Anal probe.
So it's kind of funny. Now, what it is I guess it's a talk show. Alan, you go ahead and describe what type of show it is.
Well, it's a talk show where it looks like, to me, I can't understand what they're saying, but it looks like he picks things that aren't right with society, that needs to be changed, things that are hidden, like, say, free energy, and he picks out these causes, and then he travels all over the world and he finds people to interview and talk about it.
So when we were here at my house in the studio since from 9 to about 12:30, 1 o'clock, and we did a lot of interview. Basically, in the studio, they brought the cameras in here and they were interviewing Alan and I, and we talked about everything really. I know it's a UFO show, but Alan, actually, I brought out the windows of my truck and I actually let them film the windows for the first time in history.
Yeah.
And what's kind of funny, cool. Now check this out. What's kind of funny is that we had already I notified Fox News about the Swedish company, production company coming to Fresno, and they're going, really? I said, yeah, it'd be kind of cool if you did a story on it. Only because, how often does a company like that come to visit the Fresno? And so they sent over Rich Rodriguez, and they showed up while Alan was in the family room with the windows out and, showing them exactly where to look and all this kind of stuff. And Rich comes in with the cameraman, and when we did the press conference in 2011 at the Piccadilly Inn, we didn't have the windows because I was instructed not to bring the windows for fear of contamination. So Mickey Burrow, the police forensic expert, told me, Jeff, I'm instructing you, don't bring the windows, which I did not. I left them home. And by doing that, all the networks that were there and all the people who were watching the press conference throughout the world pretty much said, you guys don't have the windows. You guys are a bunch of losers. You're just doing this for fame and fortune, the whole 9 yards. And the networks probably thought the same thing because I didn't have the windows. I mean, if I had Bigfoot's impressions, why don't I have the window there? Well, I was being smart, and I didn't want to get it contaminated. Why? Because I felt we have DNA on these windows. Now, what's kind of funny is when Rich Rodriguez showed up at the front door, and I opened the door, and I was telling him what exactly was going on at this point in time. And I said, oh, by the way, Rich, I'm actually showing them the windows right now that I have from the Bigfoot. And he kind of looked at me and went, you got the windows? And he didn't say that, but I could tell the impression on him, or the expression on him was like, huh? I'm going, yeah, and matter of fact, this is the first time I'm actually showing the windows worldwide into anybody. And then he goes to his cameraman, go get the camera. So the guy goes out and gets the camera and comes in, and they kick it. So anyways, they interviewed Adam on the sofa, and they interviewed me outside, and actually they showed it that night at the 10 o'clock news. But what's bummer is they don't have the video on there. They just have the wording of what he said, and the video's not there, which is kind of a bummer because I was hoping they were gonna have the video there. So
it might show up.
Well, I'll text him and I got his number. I'll text him and I'll say, hey man, what happened to the video? Because people want to see the video. I mean, this is like, people all over the world want to see this video. So I'll find out tonight and find out why, or tomorrow I'll find out why the video hasn't been posted yet with the actual article on the KMPH 26 website. So. But there you go. We had a blast with these guys. We went up to the mountain. We did some investigating at the Triangle crash, which was kind of fun. So it was fun. We had a good time.
Yeah. The Adam, the host with the most, he started off making fun of us. We're outside doing some shooting, and the neighbor comes out and starts warming the car up. Okay. Now it's cold. To us, it's cold. I guess it was around 8:30 or 9 in the morning. And the guy's warming up the car, and he's like, what is he doing? He's warming up the car, and he looked at us. Warming the car?
And he thought, bah!
He thought it was funny that we're warming up the car, and then he started telling me he watched the news, and they were saying, bring in your pets, that it's cold. And he didn't think it was cold, right? He's like, look at me, I don't have a coat, it's not cold. Where I come from, it's cold. So later in the day, go ahead and tell him.
Go ahead.
Later in the day, the sun goes down and it's getting pretty cold, right? We're all going for our jackets, and then Adam comes to Jeffrey and tells him, "I think I'm going to go get my coat, but it's not for me. It's for you guys. I don't want you guys to look out of like you're all a bunch of weirdos in your coat. So I'm going to go get my coat." Well, he's standing there shivering.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, he was making jokes left and right about the the coldness and how cold it is here and how cold it is over there, and sometimes it's just the other side of the world. So it's like the temperature is different. They actually have 3 weeks where it does not get dark. It stays bright, sunny night light 3 weeks straight. And sometimes for 6 months it stays like at a sundown type of darkness outside. It's just very weird in Sweden. That's the way it is. So, what the heck? So yeah, we had fun time. So things are moving right along. A couple days ago, I had a call from England, not Sweden, but England. And there's another production company who heard about it. As a matter of fact, I actually talked to this one research person who actually called me 5 or 6 months ago about wanting information on UFOs. Well, supposedly, this is what she said, there is another UFO show coming out on the Discovery Channel. You heard it first here first. What? You heard it first here. A new UFO show coming out on the Discovery Channel. And it's a group that goes and investigates UFOs. Now, where have we heard this before, right, guys? Well, how different is it from any other show? I don't know. But they wanted to get some information on Fresno if we had any major sightings, mass sightings. And when they called me last week, I said, no, there really wasn't, until I think Alan brought it to my attention. Is, what about that sighting that we had during the summer where everybody in Fresno saw this thing, including NBC and KMJ radio? And I'm like, holy moly, I forgot about that one. So I emailed her back and I told her about this sighting, and she wants me to send over some pictures and some witnesses and their phone numbers and names, and to make a contact, because I think maybe this particular show on the Discovery Channel is going to be on mass sightings. On not mass sightings, on sightings where mass of people visually are able to see this object. I think it's just not like one or two people. I think where, if there's a city and there's a particular set of lights and everybody comes out and there's many witnesses. I think this is what this show is about. So I am going to send them some information on the sighting. So we may very well have another team coming to Fresno to do another shoot. On this time, it's going to be on the Discovery Channel because of what we witnessed. Now everybody's probably going, "What did you guys witness? What did you guys witness?" Well, I'm going to show you right now what we witnessed. I actually took a snapshot. Robert Thorson, and this happened during the summer. I don't know exactly what day. I was inside. I remember I was off that day. I think it was a Friday. And I got a call from my 24-hour hotline. It was Robert Thorson. For those who don't know who Robert Thorson is, he is one of my sky watchers on the northwest side around Shaw and Fruit Avenue. And he called me and says, "Jeff, I've been videotaping this object that is southwest up in the sky, and I've been recording it for an hour and a half." And I'm in, what? Yes, I've been having the camera's been on it for about an hour and a half, and it's just sitting there. So I said, "And you're calling me right now?" Well, he was outside. He didn't have time to go and call me, but he did anyway. So I run outside. I'm looking around. I see the object, and I see it. There it is. It's way up there. So I run back inside. I'm scrounging. I get my binoculars. I go back outside, and I'm visually looking at this thing, and I'm going, holy mackerel. So I call my wife, Cheryl. She comes out, and we start taking photographs and try to get some good video. And in my binoculars, what I witnessed, what I'm looking at, is an object that's in the atmosphere. It is not, below the clouds. It is up in space. I can tell. And it's just sitting there. But it's rotating. And it's doing this. And it's doing this, and it's doing it really slow. Because sometimes you will get, at one point you can see, it just got very bright. And then you can see structure to it. And then, so I run inside, I get on the laptop, and I post a breaking news on the Facebook. And then I instruct everybody to get your butts outside right now. And they all go outside, and all of a sudden I got two calls. I got a call from NBC television here in Fresno because they saw my post. And they're going, "Jeff, we see it here at the NBC studios. What is it?" And I'm going, I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it out. And so, and supposedly what I heard is, one of their cameramans, they took him outside to get a good video of this thing, which was a sucky video. The NBC guy did not get a good video. It's just a bright light. And they thought, "Oh my God, we got it. But they didn't even bother to look at Robert Thorson's. And then I got a call from KMJ. It was their news guy, Blake Taylor. He called me because he's a friend on Facebook, and he goes, "Jeff, I see it. What is it?" I'm all, "Dude, I don't know, man. I'm trying to figure this out too." So Robert Thorson finally gets a video of this thing, and we're watching it. Robert Thorson had been watching this thing for an hour and a half, and then I watched it for another hour. Then it was up here. Then all of a sudden it started to move, and it moved like this, and then it stopped, and it started rotating again. And everybody on Facebook was going, "Oh my God, it moved. It stopped." And as a matter of fact, I think Danny was looking at it, Marty was looking at it, Alan was looking at it, Blake Taylor from KMJ was looking at it. Everybody was looking at it because everybody thought it was a star. But man, when it goes from there to there and stops and then starts rotating, then whoa, that's a trip. And then we see these airplanes come out of nowhere. I'm thinking they were 737s, and then they started dropping contrails right underneath this object, like if they were trying to cover it up. And everybody started, putting on Facebook, oh my God, you guys seen that? The airplanes are trying to cover up this object from us from looking at it.
I actually got video of that.
And yeah, Alan got video of it. So what I'm going to show you right now, and there's many shots of this, but you guys have to understand, what I'm about to show you, you guys are probably going, that looks like an airplane, or it looks like a space shuttle. Now, stop right there before you even say either one of those, okay? Now, what did I just say? I said the object was in a position hovering for over 2 hours. Can a space shuttle or an airplane hover for 2 hours? Absolutely not, okay? So scratch that. Don't even think that's what this is. Next thing, space shuttle. Last summer, did we have any space shuttles up in the sky? No. Why? Because they canceled the space shuttle,
Yeah.
And there's no space shuttles at all in our atmosphere, period. What you're about...
You know what really bothered me about the news people? I mean, we're using our home cameras, and they have these really $90,000 cameras with really good optics, and none of them zoomed in.
Idiots. Now it's a good question. Now let's find out why. Maybe the guy just didn't know how to zoom in that far. I don't know. Because what Robert Thorson got on video, you guys, was unfrickin' believable. What I did is, you can go to YouTube. It's on YouTube, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it's YouTube. I don't know what it is. If Robert's listening, put the link on chat, and now we'll tell everybody what to go look for. But on my iPhone, I can watch the YouTube video, right? And I can pause it, and I can take snapshots of it and take pictures of the video. And what I'm about to show you is probably the cleanest shot of that object that was in the atmosphere. It is not the space shuttle, and it is not a plane. You're going to see it right now. Here it is. This, my friends, is what was in the atmosphere, holding position for over 2.5 hours. And it was rotating like this. It was doing this. And what was weird is that when it would rotate, and I think when I saw the butt end of the craft, it lit up. And I'm thinking, oh my God, those are the frickin' thrusters that is keeping it in one place. And then the thrusters, it would move away, and then you can see structure. What you're looking at right now is what Robert Thorson videotaped. And look at the thing. It has frickin' structure.
Well, the tail is too big.
Exactly.
To be the shuttle.
The tail is too big. And you have to understand, guys, it is not an airplane and it is not a space shuttle, because it was in one position for 2.5 to 3 hours. Airplanes and space shuttles cannot hover in one position.
Can you use that zoom thing and
absolutely
make it a little closer for everyone? It has little laptops and stuff, cell phones. As we know, people use their cell phones, their laptops. Everybody listens.
Let me go to control bar.
See, now with my camera, I couldn't zoom all the way in, and it only makes it look like a white orb. And see, he has a 3x zoom lens that he puts on his camera, so that means he can zoom in a lot further in without losing the focus and without getting all the pixelation. That's why the guys with the TV cameras, they could have zoomed way in, because they have their optics are 50 times better than any little handheld camera we can buy. That's actually what when you spend $90,000 on a camera for like a TV camera, the most of the money that you're spending is for the optics on it. It has to be clear, and they usually have a pretty far zoom so that they can zoom, doing football games and things like that.
Right.
But man, none of them zoomed. I couldn't believe it. That was incredible that they all stayed. They did a little bit of zoom.
Yeah, but it did not capture the structure that Robert Thorson did. And that's what you guys have to understand, that when Robert Thorson has been doing this for a long time, from the very beginning, Robert Thorson was getting slammed, and getting slammed really hard, because you have to understand, Robert is he is a whiz at what he does. This guy is genius at. He could be running down the street with his video camera in one hand, and his thumb will be on the focus, zoom in and out focus, and you know what I'm saying. And he can actually get this as clear as day. And then, but the only problem is that when people were looking at this, they were saying it's an airplane. It's a helicopter. I mean, an airplane, or and they were not saying it was a space shuttle, because they know we don't have space shuttles up at that time. They were all grounded. And regardless, though, space shuttles are in orbit. You guys understand?
They were saying the X37B.
No, that's the same thing as the space shuttle. They don't orbit, guys. Satellites do not orbit. And if they do, you know, yeah, I take that back. Satellites do stay in one position, but do they move and then stop way over here? No, satellites don't do that. Sorry.
Yeah,
so
maybe the X37B can. We don't know what it could do.
Well, but now I have taken a look at the X37B. Correct. It is way smaller than the space shuttle. As a matter of fact, it's about the size of a jet.
Right.
Okay. This thing was in the atmosphere. When Alan was shooting his video, and it was, you witnessed these airplanes flying underneath this object. You could barely see the 737s.
Right.
But this object here was probably 5 to 7 to 8 times larger than the 737. That's telling me, I don't care if it was the space shuttle or the X-37B, it was not. Because this object that you're looking at right now was freaking huge. Absolutely freaking huge. For all of us down here on land to visually see this thing with the naked eye. And then all of a sudden you see these airplanes dropping the contrails right underneath it, and you can barely see the airplane, and then all of a sudden you see this object just behind it. Boom. Absolutely not. It was not. This thing was huge. This thing was freaking huge. So what was it, guys? You know, was it one of ours? I don't know. You know, do we have something right now in orbit that can actually do what it did? Absolutely, possible. You know, good. Yes, I'm thinking possibly yes. But what was it doing? And is it ours? You know, there's a lot of video out there that you know, show a lot of these things up. You know, that we have that, you know, could be ours. You know, I don't know. I really don't know. But you know, there's a lot of stuff in our atmosphere that I know for a fact that are up there, and it's kind of odd that when we were all visually looking at this thing, and then all of a sudden these other airplanes started coming and dropping these contrails to block the vision of us of looking at this thing. Now, as a matter of fact, I don't know, was it somebody? I think somebody in Madera even called and said, "I see it too from over here." So this thing, like I said, this thing was large. I don't know. What I'm going to do has to tell you what. If you guys want, I can go ahead and post. You know what? Let's go. Let's watch the video. Let's watch the video. You guys want to watch?
On the timeline, we already have. I have Thor's video and my video on a link on my timeline that we put up on Friday. You know,
okay, well let's go to your timeline then.
Maybe it was Thursday when we heard the Swedish were coming.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to show you guys the video right now. Why not, huh?
I think Danny could see it from Kingsburg. I mean, it was in space.
Oh yeah, well Danny said he saw it.
Yeah.
Right? Danny said I think he said I could see it from over here. Okay, guys, just bear with me. I'm going to pull it up for you guys.
Finding my Facebook. Let me see. I'm going to put a link for everyone.
Well, I'm going to your Facebook right now, and I'm going to get it and pull it up, and then I'll go ahead and there it is. Okay, guys, here he goes. I'm going to show.
Mr. Coates, very nice to meet you. Mr. Coates.
And it has volume too, so you'll be able to see it. So this is what Robert was shooting right here.
Yep, that's it.
Right? Can you see it, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Damn it.
Hit the volume on there. Can you hear the volume? Can you guys hear volume on that? Yeah. Okay.
I don't think anybody can explain this one. I can't even explain it.
This is the mass sighting that happened last summer, and it was pretty incredible, to be honest.
See,
This
it's
is something that
wait a minute.
was blowing a lot of people away. And he focuses on it, so just
Now it's drifting up into, it's going in the middle of the,
bear with him.
it's going into the middle of the
He
camera
takes
by
a-
itself.
It's a lot of video, but
Whoa.
on this particular video, I don't know exactly.
It looks like it's got all kinds of parts
9 minutes.
to it.
So I'm going to let it play.
Looks like
quite a
there's,
bit,
look like there's about 3 of them attached.
you
It's
can
like
see
they're ready to explode any time.
how it
now.
rotates and the structure that it has. Sorry guys, there's so many people on. There it is.
So this just shows up as a circle in this dumb camera.
It's moving toward us a little bit.
I'm trying to get my other camera that
Why isn't it moving somewhere? I'm getting tired of this.
See now, right here, it's starting to actually see structure because it's the way it's rotating. Like boom, doesn't it look like the whatchamacallit from the Star Wars guys? What did that call it? That was Luke Skywalker. Whatever that brown vehicle that he was driving over the desert. That's what that looks like.
It's moving toward me now.
For all you Star Wars, yeah, doesn't that look like it right there, guys? Okay, now, don't you guys remember in one of the pyramids in Egypt, they uncovered on the wall, it looked like a helicopter, a jet, and one of these land speeders that looked like exactly like this. As a matter of fact, I don't know if I can find it, but you guys have to understand, he's moving around a lot, but he has it on a tripod. This thing is in the
Yeah, it's
atmosphere.
drifting toward us now. I get
So
that.
for
Moving
him
the camera
to
up.
actually zoom in and able to really catch it and zoom in on it and keep it in film is absolutely remarkable. You could not do that if you tried.
It's coming closer to us.
Years and years and years.
Look, there's 2 of them.
Because you have to understand,
Why?
this
Look when you
is
look
like
at their
a
eyes. Looks
speck.
like there's 2. Like it's like one.
And I mean
inside.
literally a speck in
Look,
the
there's-
sky.
Hard to tell.
Now keep watching, because eventually he's going to be able to zoom in on it, and then you're going to be able to see it rotate, and then the structure comes back.
I got it zoomed in at about,
Sorry.
let's see, 20.
Oh, that's right. I was typing.
About
really
210.
Heavy fingered.
I think it's about 210 times.
That's kind of that's kind of how it looked to me in my camera, kind of like.
I don't have
when
much
the
tape left in a
sun-
minute
see,
either.
these
Again.
video cameras,
Sucks.
that's what they
If I had another camera, I could put it in and
they-
rewind it.
intake light.
Rewind another tape one.
Okay, so if there's a really bright light on it, it'll distort the video.
Absolutely.
And that's what you're seeing right
Put my
there. is
tape.
actually
Give me a fresh
reflection
tape out of
distorting
one of
this
yours.
video.
So I don't have.
not the same.
But as
There they are.
it rotates around, now see, as it rotates, where the sun's not reflecting straight back at him, we can actually start seeing the structure again.
Exactly.
That happens a lot when these UFOs. I'm not going to be able to get it, but there's something really good probably.
Oh my
That they had.
God.
I mean,
Can
that
you
thing
imagine?
was looking at solar flares. I mean, we actually looked at the space
There
station
it goes
with
again,
it, and you
moving
could
up
see
again,
the solar
toward me.
panels, and I mean, that thing was bad. We could have like looked in the window of
Getting
whatever.
bright
that
again.
is. See, now it's starting to rotate again, and the sun is reflecting off it, and you're getting that reflection, and it's distorting.
Yeah. So whatever this thing was in our atmosphere, it
See, now
was
look at that.
Whoa.
huge.
It looks like a spring.
So
what is that?
it's like
That is weird.
it. I'm not gonna say what I think it's doing.
I can't keep this up
And a lot of
very
people
long,
going, "Oh my
okay.
God, it's morphine." Well, I don't think it's
taking
morphine. I
too
think
long.
just as it's rotating, you know, it's longer.
It's coming toward me. I'm not able to keep on that
it's just, wow.
tripod much longer.
That is the weirdest looking thing.
But you guys have to understand, it was in one position for an hour and a half to 2 hours until it moved a long ways, a very long way.
See that?
See, you know, the black
that is
spots
weird.
that you see, that is the whitest, brightest light.
It's coming toward us, but I can't. I don't know how I can keep it in there.
So it turns it black.
What's it doing?
It's getting closer to us.
Didn't know that.
I don't see it.
I know.
I mean, it's like overpowering the optic, the little thing that reads the light in the camera.
God, that is weird. Look at that.
What they're called, CCCD or something like that.
Well, it's going toward us, but it's not barely moving. Here comes a plane. I don't know.
So now that is
Who cares about that, though?
It's like, you know,
like
Yeah, it's coming toward us. So I'm not moving the camera, and it's moving up.
you know, it's like,
I have to move the camera.
yeah,
Hopefully
there
I'll
he is.
keep-
Jet noise, CCD. That's right. It is. It's going berserk. It doesn't even know what to do with it, so it distorts and it can't read it. That's correct.
There it goes
You can see
again.
it kind of
I'm going to have too much
tumble,
damn
too.
tape. with
yeah,
this thing.
it's rotating. It's just rotating. That's what it's doing. And it's rising up though, as you can see. See how it keeps going up, and he has to
that's why I know
adjust
there's
it
something
and bring the camera
going by
back
it all
up
the time.
and, you know, get it focused.
Something
and
coming
zero
going
in
in
on
front of it or
again.
something.
So it's actually rising, but it was rising in one position.
Didn't somebody call you and tell you it looked like a jellyfish?
Oh, man.
Or something like that?
I
Somebody
can't tell you
did.
what it
Somebody,
looks like exactly. I'm afraid.
Two
I
gentlemen
think it's
actually
perfect,
got it
yeah.
on video too,
But I
and I
still got it
could
on my
never
camera.
get down there to because what they did is they got
It's
their
going against
video
the wind,
camera
too.
and they
The
placed
wind's
it on
blowing
their
away from us. This
telescope,
thing's coming toward us.
and they were able to really zoom in on it. And I never had the chance to go out to their house
It's coming
to
up
look at it.
toward us a little bit.
But they said it was like jellyfish, and it
It's
was
either going
morphing
higher or
and
going
all
toward
kinds of
us.
stuff. And I was going, huh?
But
I can
I've
barely
seen
see it on my
video
camera right
of
now.
that jellyfish thing before on YouTube.
Let's hope it leaves pretty soon, because when I tried to put another piece of tape in there,
astronauts got one that looked like a worm.
I'm running out of
Like
tape
a
again, because I didn't get a chance to rewind any tapes.
Translucent, but it's
Let's
like
prepare for this
rifting
thing.
in the orbit. He said it was huge, and he was on the shuttle and took a picture, took some video of it, and it looked like this morphine worm, real translucent with all these little white things in it. And he said that biological something in orbit that lives in it. I wonder if it eats 747s or something.
So, okay, I think you guys have seen pretty much.
A hell of a balloon, I heard that.
So there you go. I mean,
Like,
very crazy
there's a
stuff.
plasma object,
Very,
I don't
very
know.
crazy stuff. And I mean, that's just awesome. I don't know what else to tell you guys, but, that was witnessed by a lot of people. And, it was one of those days where it's like, everybody's really tripping out. And, Robert Thorson got something great on video, man. But a lot of people think it was an airplane and the space shuttle, because they think that he might have recorded this a couple of years ago when the space shuttle was in the sky. But they're idiots, because they don't think before they speak. Space shuttles, you can't videotape a space shuttle like this. I don't care who you think you are. If you have $1 million camera, space shuttle's in orbit. It's going like this around orbit, and it's not in one position like this for a long period of time. Sorry, our space shuttles don't do that.
I mean, like get in a synchro, what do they call it? Synchro.
And they're going like thousands and thousands of miles an hour.
Geostationary, that's what they call it, where they get in one spot and it stays in the same spot and follows the Earth's rotation.
Just like the sky.
That wasn't doing that. I mean, it would stop. We probably videotaped that for over 3 hours.
Yeah, for 3 hours. It was up there for 3 hours until it moved. Like I said, it was there, and then it went boop, and it stopped there for about another 20 to 30 minutes until we lost sight of it and it just disappeared.
Well, it took off.
Oh, did it take off?
Yeah,
I lost sight of it.
It was when I first saw it, it wasn't moving, and I was starting to think it was just a star. After a while, Then all
No,
of a sudden
I
it
knew.
started moving.
I knew it wasn't a star.
And it moved probably like a third of the sky, and then it stopped. And it stayed like that for 20 or 30 minutes, and then it started moving again, but only then it started picking up speed. Because I had it on a tripod also, and at first it was just barely moving, but as it moved east, it started picking up speed, and the further it got, the more faster it was going through the viewfinder.
Right.
And I had to keep on moving the camera more and more, and then pretty soon I couldn't see it.
Couldn't see it anymore, and it was gone.
And again, it went east.
Yeah, it went east. Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely, because we saw it move, go east. So, man, I mean, what was it, guys? I don't know. We have a lot of stuff in our skies right now that are just crazy. But, I was just thinking that, last year I got a call from an individual. Stillings. Talk about Stillings a little bit.
Sure.
For all those who don't know, Jesse Ventura just had an episode on jumpers for people who can jump into the future or jump into the past. As a matter of fact, he had somebody on his show. His name is
Anthony Basiago.
Basiago. There are a couple of people who, if you are into jumpers and time travelers, I guess is another good way of putting it, that our government has been involved in this for a while now, and there are a couple of people on the internet or out there who has made themselves known to people of what they can do. One is a person that Alan just mentioned, and another guy's name is William Stillings. Well, it just so happens that William Stillings actually called me on my 24-hour hotline about a year ago. And he we talked on the phone during my work hours for about an hour and a half. And he said he wanted to come on my show to disclose something. And, and you guys have to understand, I was just getting involved really deep in what I'm doing. And I didn't know really who he was at that point in time until I started doing research, and Alan and my wife and everything, they're going, whoa, you know who this guy is? He's making the claim that President Obama, with them, when they were kids, were chosen by the government to do different experiments. And they actually say that they've been to Mars and through wormholes and stargates, and were able to jump back and forth. And it just so happens that this guy William Stillings called me, and he noticed my show a year ago, and he wanted to come on my show and basically to disclose something very big. And time went by, and I never really got back to him, or he never contacted me back until a couple of days ago. Last week, actually. I actually called him back and left a message, and he called me back. And he said, yeah, I remember Fresno. And so we started talking, and, I'm telling him about what I think is going on north of Fresno. And he tells me I'm aware of what's happening north of Fresno, he says, the Owens Mountain area is very bad, he says. He goes, and this is coming out of his mouth. You have to understand, I'm trying to figure out what's going on north of Fresno, and he says it has to do something with reptilians. And I'm okay. And now I'm going, okay, now what have I got myself into? Now, I don't know this William Stillings, but he is supposedly, a lot of people know who this guy is. Art Bell, I believe, was the one who brought him and Basiago to everybody's knowledge. And so we started talking. I said, I started telling him about the ruins and all this, and he's actually going to come to Fresno, guys. William Stillings is coming to Fresno, and he's going to want me to take him where I think all this stuff is happening. We haven't set on a date yet, but he's also going to be coming in live in the studio, and we're going to be talking about some heavy, heavy, heavy stuff. For those who don't know who this guy is, go do some research. William Stillings, and This guy knows a lot of stuff. He knows about what's really going on in the world, stargates, the whole 9 yards, dude. And this guy knows it all. Well, he wants to come in live, like, in the studio. When he comes down here, he's going to spend the night in a hotel, and we're going to take him up north where we think all the stuff is happening and do some investigating. But we're going to get him in here. We haven't found a right weekend yet, but I will let you know when this all happens. And that's going to be very, very interesting, because I don't, he goes on a lot of, internet radio shows, and he does a lot of talks and stuff like that, but he doesn't really go and travels to a location to where he thinks, I like to go check this stuff out. And so he's going to do that. So that's very, we're honored and flattered that he's going to come down here. So now we just have to get a good date and time for him to do it when, we both have the times that we can.
He's cool. I mean, this guy supposedly walked on Mars with our president, right?
Right.
Walked on Mars with our president. This ought to be good show. Good.
Now, somebody mentioned Ed Grimsley. Sacktown did. Ed Grimsley has called me several times. I mean, I can get him on the phone and do an interview with him anytime I want.
Yeah.
So he just, I just haven't had the opportunity to, or, so I don't know. Ed Grimsley actually wanted to come down here and do some investigating, bringing in his equipment and stuff. But, we'll have to wait probably around for the summer if that's going to happen. So, all right. Wow. Did we miss anything? Anything on Bigfoot? The word is still out on the Daisy Bigfoot in the box. I still don't know if that's fact or fiction. I don't know about that one still. But supposedly they got some major people involved, like not Lauren Coleman, but Jeff Meldrum. Supposedly.
Really?
They're bringing Jeff Meldrum into the picture.
Well, I seen Melba Ketchum post a petition for the government, to protect the Bigfoots, And I think about that. They've been doing pretty good all by themselves. And I don't care, even if everybody, they say Bigfoot is real today, right? I challenge anyone to go find him, just like that. I mean, come on, man. That dude has been running around. Matt Moneymaker's been looking at him for 20 years, 25 years, and he's still looking. I mean, that thing doesn't need anybody's help. Even with the finest equipment, they avoid you. Even if you know where they are, and they can be like 20 feet from you. As soon as you whip out a binocular or a camera or anything like that, boom, they are immediately a half a mile away from you. I mean, they don't need any help. I just pity the fool that goes out there to go hunt one to shoot him, because there's more than one, and while you got one in the sights, say you do shoot him, and you knock him down while you're over there checking out what you just shot. You better be looking behind you, because there's going to be some coming after you right then. And if you do get away with it, I would not go back to that same area ever again. You know what I mean? Because they're ninjas, and they're big. Really big.
So far, Carol is saying that the investigation team has been called off. Well, then if that's the case, then it's all a fake. It's all a hoax. If they're calling off, the scientist and Jeff Meldrum and stuff, because I don't know what's really going on, but it's never a straight answer from these guys, and who knows? But I don't know.
The government, like Zach, the government we know that there's some places in the Sierras. We know where they are. We want to go there, but we haven't had a chance yet. Mm-mm. They've been recording the Bigfoots for 30 years. They have film footage. They got pictures. I mean, they've been watching this family that's been in the hills for a long time, and we know right where it is. But we want to go there. And we even heard that when we show up on the scene, the whole valley is, wired for sound, so they'll even know when we show up.
Yeah, so we need to be careful when we go, and so. But yeah, I mean, the government knows all this stuff is real, and they're keeping it away from the public for a reason. There's a great show on the History 2 channel called America Uncovered. God, what's the name of that show, guys? On H2, America Uncovered, about ancient ruins. This guy is going out and looking and just, and this show is awesome because it's not like he's really close, but he doesn't find anything. No, he's finding these things and he's showing them to you guys. Look, this is freaking incredible. This is where this thing is at, and there's structures here in the United States of America. And, basically he's saying what the history books are telling us is all wrong. Now, he's not saying that the aliens were here. He's saying that other settlers from other countries like, Dutch and Sweden and back then arrived here way before Columbus. And it's a very, very good show. America Unearthed. Thank you, Ito. America Unearthed. It is an awesome show. I get goosebumps when I consider this to be way better than Ancient Aliens. Mm-hmm. This show is way better than Ancient Aliens, you guys. I swear to you. You guys, the episodes right now, if you have Comcast, it's on demand. But if not, you can go on the internet and go and look at this on the H2 website, I believe. But it's called America Unearthed. I recommend it. They already have 4 episodes out, or 3. I don't know, 3 or 4.
I think it's 4.
4? Every
we should get that guy on we should get that guy.
Well, see, I don't want to show him you know what I'm saying?
We don't have to show him what we have, but we should get him anyways to talk about it.
Maybe what we ought to do is just send him a snapshot of the wall.
Did you see the one he did on the copper?
Yes. Yes, absolutely. You guys know that we're trying. There's so much stuff going on here in Fresno that if it was done the correct way, I know we could do a really good job at putting on a really good show and showing it on TV and showing exactly what is really going on around Fresno. I have actually written down ideas for episodes, and I already have 12 episodes already lined up, ready to go. And these are hard-hitting episodes that would just blow you guys away, and you guys would just say, wow, this is so cool, with evidence, facts, witnesses, videos, photographs. There's no, did you see that? Did you hear that? None of that crap. We got it all here. And what we have north of Fresno, and we're saying the gatekeeper has told me, and right in front of me says, you know what, if you ever get a show, I will let you come in here and do an episode on these ruins, but only you. And because he did not let Chasing UFOs go in there. He refused to get them to come in there and allow them to come in here and do some recording of the ruins. But he did tell me, if we're going to do this, we're going to do it right.
Yes.
And that's what he says. We're going to do it right. And so if we get a show, that is going to be one of these episodes, because it very well could be back in the days when they were mining for copper. It very well could be. But, there are some things that are really cool in there that I want to get tested, that I want to get some professionals in there. Why is there so much UFO activity around this area? Well, that's the whole idea around this episode, is to figure out why. And also, you got the ruins involved, so let's find out what these things are. So, I took Alex Chinetti out there, guys. If you guys don't know who Alex Chinetti is, he was in here. He's well known for ancient Mayan ruins. He's from Mexico. He came down here. I actually brought him down here to go look at the wall and the ancient ruins. And he says, whoa, this doesn't look like recent stuff. And I kind of figured the same thing too. But, he's only going by what he's just visually looking at. There would have to be tests and the whole 9 yards and scientific, all that kind of stuff. So that's what I want to do. But a lot of people don't know this stuff exists in North Fresno, and there's got to be a reason for that. So there you go.
Yeah, they want to keep it from us.
Yeah, they want to keep it from us. So, and that's all in this area, where these lights on Friday, So, all right, you guys. Well, I think that is pretty much going to cover this episode of Paranormal Central. It's a bummer that we didn't get Ronnie on here, so hopefully I can call her tomorrow and, record it like I did with Nolan, and that way I can play it for you guys next weekend, okay? So I think that's pretty much it. Next week, who knows what we're going to be talking about. I don't really like to let you guys know in advance because, it's a surprise. It's a surprise. So hopefully, next week you guys will just show up and take a listen, and we'll have some great stuff to show you and talk about. So there you go. All right, that's it for us here at SPS Radio Paranormal Central. My name is Jeffrey Gonzalez, and that is Alan Thomas. We appreciate you sticking with us on a Sunday evening. And if you guys ever see something that you can't explain, make sure you call me, all right? 559-287-8367. And like I always say every week before I sign off, I really, really, really hope you guys witness something that you can't explain. Okay? Peace, and I'll see you guys next week. Take care.